All right, YouTube. So there is reports from the UN basically saying that North Korea has not discontinued their nuclear missile program, and that's basically testing the warheads themselves and also the missiles. And most importantly, the missiles. They already have the warheads. Excuse me. They're just working on the missile technology. And I say this. I say, like, who could fucking blame them for wanting to do this? They've been demonized for the longest time simply because they don't use the US dollar. That's basically the simplicity of the conflict. I'm sure there's a lot more to it, but that's kind of the reason, or that's the way I understand it. North Korea and Iran, they're basically the two last countries that have resisted using the dollar. And believe it or not, there's actually a lot more countries that are thinking about it because it ties in with the euro, and they just think that both currencies are, obviously, they're fiat currencies. They're based on credit and paper. And Woodrow Wilson was complicit in the formation of the Federal Reserve. The book, The Creature from Jekyll Island. I haven't read it, but look, everybody that tells me that's read it, they say it's a really good book. So hey, that's going to be added to my must-read list. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can read that as well. Look, this is just how I feel. I think that as long as the North Koreans have nuclear weapons, like, that's the only thing that's keeping them safe from getting invaded, because it's their insurance policy. So I don't blame them at all. I don't blame Iran for allegedly trying to assemble a nuclear weapon. I don't even know if they're trying to do that. What if they're just trying to use the nuclear energy to run their country? But probably they're using missiles or whatever. So it's just not a bad thing. Like, I feel like a lot of the neocons in the media come out and they're like, oh, Trump's basically weak on North Korea and weak on Iran and everything. It's going to be a good thing. It's going to be a good thing if they have nuclear weapons. I know that sounds fucking crazy, because the only reason that's going to be a good thing is because everybody else has them. It's going to be their insurance policy, and I think that's going to actually basically it's going to have them prevented from being demonized, I think, because they're going to be respected as a viable nuclear force, I think. And the same goes with Iran, And I think that Trump's strategy, and I really do believe this, I think he wants to end the tensions between both countries. I know there's probably obviously there's a huge difference in the cultures, and a lot of the people in Iran hate Americans, and it's not for any good reason. It's just because our government basically has been bullying them for like the last 30 to 40 years, honestly. We've been interfering with their politics over there so much, and we've probably tried to do the same in North Korea as well. We probably have plants inside their government. Definitely, I'm sure of it. I can't confirm it. Obviously, but you know what I mean. It's not a bad thing, folks. It really isn't. Because North Korea does not want to go to nuclear war. They just want to have the technology so they can basically protect themselves and say, look, we got to stick to. Like, we're not afraid to fucking launch it. Yeah, that was a pretty good take. I'm going to end on that. So yeah, just expect to hear a lot of people in the news basically say that Trump is weak in North Korea, because they're going to try and pull that card. They're going to try and spew that bullshit, that propaganda, basically to make him look bad. But it doesn't work, because a lot of the people that are backing Trump right now are saying, look, we want peace. We don't want any more Bush wars or any more Obama wars or any more Clinton wars, for that matter. And that's all bullshit. War essentially is, in my opinion, it's a way of population control, because it doesn't matter whose soldiers dies. Excuse me. It doesn't matter which soldiers die. It's basically because the folks who are giving the orders never have to face combat themselves. They're total cowards, honestly. All right, guys. God bless.